record this. This is the orientation for February 15th. And we'll get started. If you have questions, don't be afraid to ask as we go. This is meant to be a pretty good overview of all the exit products that we have to offer. It's not, it'll get you in, it'll get you started, and you'll know where to find things and what to look for, and some of the little tips and tricks that I can give you, I'll show you as well. We are going to have our next Saturday session, the 27th, that'll be all forms and everything to do with buyers and sellers as a logistics standpoint, from forms to representation. But then the 2 Saturdays from that, which I'm not sure exactly what that date is, we'll have a workshop day where we'll have people on staff here that are pretty much our experts on any of these programs we're going through tonight. So if you want to get more in depth and really set things up and really work on a couple-hour basis with each of these tools, you can on that Saturday. So let's get started. Up on the top of the thing is statement system and password. All right, first one I want us to get started with is the Exit Resource Center. When you joined Exit, you should have gotten an email from Exit Corporate with your roster code and your login to the Exit Resource Center. This is the back end of Exit Rudy's website where you'll get access to a lot of your tools and different things you can do on a day-to-day basis. Your roster code should be a 6-digit number. Mine's 23,096. Some of you guys that just joined are probably at like 87,096, somewhere in the 80s. But that's your roster code. Keep that handy. Sometimes you'll need it for certain things. And your password is always going to be initially set at the first 4 of your last name, pound, and then the last 4 of your social security number until you change it. I'll show you where you can change it.
First 4 last name, pound, and last 4 social?
Yeah. Yep. Capital starts with a capital.
Capital for my life.
Of course, it would help if I remember my password. There we go. The first thing I want you guys to do when you go in here is make sure you go to this little gear button and go to your file and profile and walk through the different segments here. Make sure you're adding you can check your membership info. You can change your beneficiary info for your residuals. You can see if you paid your membership fee. You've got links to your social media where you can add your social media links. I've got a few different tabs here because I have different roles for different companies. You're only going to have one, basically, but those be your personal links, so you can add your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, your Google Plus, your Active Brains. Add those all in there. Add your photo. I gotta update my photo. And your bio section. So you definitely want to make sure you have a bio in here. And the reason being is it's the best way for sometimes people to find you. They'll Google your name. Exit really has a pretty high ranking on search engine optimization. So a lot of times if someone just Googles your name, the top couple that are going to come up are this profile and your Facebook page or your LinkedIn page. So, but I think it categorizes a little better, so it'll have your name dash Exit Really. So if they know you work at Exit and know your name, they're probably going to click on that link more so than maybe your Facebook or your LinkedIn. So make sure you fill this stuff out so that when if someone goes to exitrudy.com and ends up on the main corporate website, they may click on the Find an Agent button. And this is something you can do too if you're ever looking for someone to refer business to anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. You would go in here, and let's say you're looking for someone in, where was it in Georgia?
Columbus, Georgia.
Columbus, Georgia. Or Columbus, Georgia. Oh, there you go. So put in the place you're looking for, and you hit go. It's going to bring up the different exit offices that are in that area. Pick this one.
It doesn't look like there's one actually in Columbus, Georgia.
No,
a franchise.
I know.
But now you'll see agents. Obviously, you're not going to get a referral if you've got no picture. But even still, if you have a picture, no bio, you may not get the referral either.
Yeah, like that third guy from the right, there's no way in this call. See that big say,
Right. But this person's got a nice little bio. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant, but something about yourself, where you live, what you like to, what your service approach is to the business. Just something that identifies you as someone that somebody wants to refer to. So whether you're looking to refer or people are looking to refer in your area, make sure you have a bio. And if you're looking for someone, I suggest you find someone that's taking the time to fill out their bio.
They say don't have a lot of real estate experience, brag about how wonderful the office is, and talk about your hobbies, because people will relate. If you like dogs, oh, you like dogs, great. That's what I'm talking
Okay, how would I get my username if I don't have it from the email section?
about.
Contact
Like check
Adam.
for $50 and an envelope to Tracy Bob.
Just check with Jeannie or the admin.
Okay.
Yeah. If you put it on the private Facebook group, everybody on the private Facebook group? Everybody's on.
Found out.
Oh, I'll add you to the group.
Okay.
So, private Facebook group, if you're looking for something like that, you post on there, the admins will respond to that as well. So, still in the gear button, make sure you save your changes when you're done. If you want to change your password, you can do that here. Click on change password. My reports is a nice link where you can see certain things, what you've had for listings, what you've had for deals. The recruits report is a nice report. It shows you who you recruited, but also your recruits deal report. You can see whoever you've sponsored, how what they've done, and what you're getting for visitors. So these are just some of the reports you can run right through the system. Board history report, if you're probably 300. If you want to see where you stand on a year-to-year basis, kind of what your growth has been, it'll show you your transactions for the year and how close you are to the board levels, if you're interested in that kind of stuff. And then for your 1099s, not for your office income, but for your residual income, you can find those through here too. So we do introduce people when you get paid from corporate for residuals, you do get taxed on that money. So you can go in here and get your reports.
1099 Tracy?
Yeah, you go into the gear button, go to your reports, and at the bottom you see tax forms.
They won't mail it. They won't mail it.
No.
They probably already sent you an email.
Yes.
But have to go in and log in to your form to print the page.
All right, so then under, that's pretty much all you'll see under that tab. But make sure you fill out your bio and get that completed. Training. The training tab is a good place to go find if there's any of the national speakers coming in on obviously we're going to let you know about it if there's a national speaker coming in. But if there was a requirement to register RSVP, you can get an email with a link saying go here. But if you ever lost that email, you can come in here and just click on view the calendar, find the event, register for the event right through this website. Probably the better part of this is the training webinar link. This is a recording of the 30-minute sessions that it has every month, a 30-minute webinar on varying topics from anybody who's doing something really great across the U.S. and Canada. So if someone's got a specialty that they're doing, we'll invite them to come on and do a monthly webinar. You'll get an email about it, when it's coming up, and how to register. But after they have the class, they record them and they make them available on demand anytime you want. You can go through here. You can even see breakout sessions from the convention. The convention I think it has every October. All the breakout sessions will be within 3 or 4 months of the convention. They'll be uploaded here for your access. So it's a good idea to get your weekly education. To come in here once a week, every other week, and watch something. Sorry, fighting back cold. Watch something that you haven't watched before, or something to give you a little motivation, or if you're looking for something on any of the tech tools, you can do a search, like Promo Shop. Just do a quick search and find what you're looking for. Quite a few that they've had on Promo Shop. So you just find what you're looking for and watch it. You don't want to.
that have practical training, like cold calling, like
Yeah, some of that. Anything that's not really area specific. We also have, just so you know, we do power hours every Tuesday at 10:30. We do all kinds of topics, including, you know, hours for semi-owners. Tomorrow we have an appraiser coming in. You guys can make it tomorrow at 10:30. We'll record it also, but we have an appraiser, a 30-year veteran appraiser coming in to tell us, you know, how she does her business, how she values properties, answer any questions you have about appraisals. Really help you guys kind of figure out what to use for adjustments, how they look at these obscure properties that are value a 100-acre horse farm or something really strange. So it should be a good session tomorrow. But these trainings for corporate, there are some kind of higher level scripts that work anywhere in the country, stuff like that. But if it's anything more specific to an area, we do it either local here or we have some. All right, so that's it for the training. The Exitize Me link. This is where I assume, Louis, you found your skin. So you pretty much anything exit if you're looking for it. And my shirt. In your shirt. So you can click on here and find the proof suppliers for any of these categories. They've not only approved and have the exit logo and they're ready to go, but they have, in order to get on here, they've cut some pretty good deals for our agents to buy things through. So whether you're looking for name badges or business cards or vehicle signs, you're short on money, commission advances, those are costly. Don't do it unless you're very desperate. It'll cost you about 15 to 20% of your deal.
Off the top, and if you're late, you're breaking that.
Yeah, pretty much. It's legalized. Short one shot. So any of these stuff, designations you're looking for, anything you can think of, it's in here. But I also tell agents to you can also try just Google it. Find a lot of stuff that way too. Any questions on that? So that's the approved suppliers. Also under Exitize Me, if you're ever looking for a high resolution logo, you can find that on here. The vendor you're using needs a high resolution logo. You can find it on there. There's a lot of different logos in there. The metallic ones, the different colors we have, the holiday ones with the holiday bows on. There's a lot of different things in there. If you're ever looking for a logo, you can find it there. They have the Exit YouTube channel connection here. Check that out sometime.
What's on that?
I'll click on it. The media library, sorry. The media library has some of the the videos that you've seen with Exit, the 60 minutes, some of the stuff that goes along with some of the recruiting stuff, and you probably won't use these too much, but if you're ever looking for a particular video that you want to download to your computer, you can find it here. As I'll show you guys in a little bit, our digital marketing strategy video that goes along with the e-listings program for virtual tours and properties. That one we have set up on a separate domain, but let's say you're going into the middle of nowhere to do a listing presentation, you want to show it to them, you might want to go in here and download it from here, the video, so you have it on your hard drive in case you don't have an internet connection. But you can also show it on your iPhone, so it just depends on how you want to. Most people don't need to download these anymore, but they are in here if you're looking for them in the Exitize Me section. The YouTube channel has, again, some of the videos that you're looking for. The 4-minute million, which explains how our sponsoring works, how the residuals work, that's in there. There's a lot of different broker owners that have done little videos on how Exit works. There's a Techinar video, it's 15 minutes long. It's like corporate's longer version of the resource center. But it's a good channel to check out, watch some stuff, kind of get to know your company a little bit better. We also have our office YouTube channel where we put up all our power hour videos that we record every Tuesday. So the Tuesday session happens to those up too. I'll send out the link on the private Facebook group. Okay, if you want to go to Exit Convention or find out information about it, you got that in here. Exit Achiever is the Exit Realty online magazine that you'll get an email regarding. That email will have a link to it, so you don't have to go looking for it. But if you're looking for like a past publication of it or something particular that you saw, you can go in here and find the old copies. Sometimes I'll kind of scan through these. There's occasionally something I like that I'll grab and put in my listing presentation. If I see something in here, an article, something that somebody's doing across the country or something that's going on with Exit, you can just hit the PDF button, change it to PDF, so occasionally there's some nice promotional materials in there that you might grab. If I see something that really looks good, I'll share it with you guys and say, hey, here's a PDF of a flyer I saw that might work pretty well for this presentation. But it's in there if you get bored. This one you won't have, that's appropriate to. So the next one I want to check out is the document section. The document section has a lot of not form-based. This is none of the buyer forms, none of the seller forms. We have all that in our document program, which we'll go over to later on. This would be more like corporate forms if you need to change a beneficiary or looking for anything in particular like that. But there is one resource in here I highly recommend you download. If you go into the documents and you type in buyer and just do a search, there's a nice buyer consultation in here. We all want to try to get them to come in the office and meet with us so you can get them under your grips before they're just becoming a showing agent. It's better sell yourself as a buyer's agent, which we'll go through on the Saturday class. This consultation guide works very well. It's two formats, Word and PowerPoint. So whatever you have on your computer, you download it. Change your picture, put your picture and your information for home buying guide. So it's a really good walkthrough with buyers of what to expect, what the process is, what the steps are to closing. It's ready to go. You can add to it, you can change it, you can make it your own. But it's a good starting point. All right, the next one I want to go over is the Teal tools. This is where you'll find access to a couple of the great tools that Exit has to offer. There is a link to your .loop from here. It's called the Paperless Solution. Most of our agents just go to .loop direct because they're going to do most of your work on a day-to-day basis is going to be in .loop, buyer forms, doing seller forms, that kind of stuff. So probably won't link to it from here, but if you ever need a link, it's there. The one I really want to go over first is eListings. So this is the program that helps you promote your listings and helps you make your listings stand out for the crowd. It's really an awesome tool for getting listings if you use it. You don't need to buy the program until you get a listing. If you want it, it's $15.95 a month or $144 per year if you decide you want to pay it all up front. You can always cancel it once you finish your listing, but hopefully you get consistent listings throughout the year. That's the goal, not just one. But I'm going to log in and kind of show you what it does. But first I want to show you a website that we set up to help you use the tool and promote the tool. So if you're ever talking to a seller, whether it's email, on the phone, a letter, a handwritten postcard, anything, use exitsalesfaster.com. It's a website we set up that helps you sell what we do best. I'll just read it through and then I'll show you guys the video. So this is exitsalesfaster.com. So if someone gets here, preview the video below to find out how Exit Realty sells homes faster and for more money. Exit Realty is the fastest growing real estate company in North America because we don't just rely on our name or MLS to sell your home. We incorporate exclusive industry technology into our home selling process to make your home stand the premier home in the price range and make your home stand out. Call your Exit Realty agent today to learn more. So I just want to show you this video because this is what this product does for $15.95 a month. No, it's not.
It's funny because it starts off, it's not science. I mean, it's not rocket science. Do you want me to turn that one?
That one's all that. Probably because
Right, so,
probably because I muted it so I wasn't getting feedback. Well, you don't have to watch it on your own. Just go to exitsalesfaster.com, watch the video a few times. This is great to even show them on your cell phone because it shows them how we market our homes. Basically what the product does, so you know from the back end perspective. Is in a matter of basically about 5 minutes, you add your pictures and all your information for your listing. Set it up in the way you want to see it. You add information that's going to be text on the websites and on the virtual tours, but then you add in a box that has basically a voiceover. The voice is created, computer generated, one of 3 voices. It sounds pretty good. If you really want to snazz it up, you can record your own voice, or for $6, you can have them record it professionally with a professional voice. So if you have a very high-end listing, you may want to think about having them record it. So basically, once you go to your listings, you go to maintain listings, and you basically fill out all these sections, the bullet points about your listing, add your pictures. You can add 12 to start, and then you can go back in and add more pictures if you want up to 30 or 40. But so that it saves and loads right, it only asks you to do 12 to start with, and then you go back in and add more. So this box, you put your tax information. This box, you put your voiceover, whatever you want the voice to read. It's a lot more expandable than MLS. If you know that MLS, if you guys use MLS, you can only put in a certain number of characters, and then it shuts you off. So you can expand upon it. You can make it sound a lot more like a story than MLS does. And you basically pick your voice. You can put in some slowdowns in there. So if you use these little brackets in between the text, it'll slow it down or speed it up, and it'll help you really develop a nice product for your listing. Once you're done, you hit save, and what it basically does, if I go back, show you what it does, instantaneously when you hit save, and each of you has a demo listing, so even if you don't have a listing yet, or if the last listing you had was a $100,000 listing, you each have a demo that's built on basically a really nice property, so that if you're going after a $600,000 house, you don't have to show them the last one you did, which was $100,000. It instantaneously, from the point when you hit save, created a website specifically for that property, which I'll show you. It creates a flyer, embeddable flyer, a PDF flyer, an e-tour that starts to syndicate out into the internet. Same thing with the website, that syndicates out in the internet automatically. It creates unbranded tours for MLS, so it'll automatically connect those tours to MLS. It creates embeddable flyers for putting on Craigslist. You just copy all this HTML code and put it right in Craigslist. It creates a video that'll go to YouTube if you have a YouTube channel. And it'll basically create all these products for you instantaneously. And it sends you an email with all those links. Those links, I usually would say, you send that whole email to your seller and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is what we've been doing so far to help you market your property. And they're usually very impressed by it because you got a talking tour, you've got a website specifically for that property, and you've got about 12 other different products that you just set up for them in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes. They think you probably spent hours and hours on it. So it's pretty cool stuff. It automatically feeds out on the internet. If you have your YouTube channel set up, it automatically goes to YouTube, and really creates a nice set of tours and information on your property. The other nice thing it does is it gives you really nice, ready-to-go flyers. So if I go back to one of my listings, I'm just going to actually click on this one I actually just sold. You can see this is what I had set up for this listing. If I want to go in and change it or add more pictures, I can drag pictures, change picture order. I can go down here to additional photos, upload additional photos. I can go back in here, I can change any of my text. If I don't like the voice recording or the words in my voice recording, I can change those. Hit save. Everywhere that those tours, the website, any places that they've ever gone to are automatically updated that instant. So you don't have to worry about having it perfect that second you get saved. You can go back and see what you've created, change it up, modify it 100 times. Every time you do, it's going to update automatically for everyone. So what I wanted to show you was on the left-hand side, whenever you go back to your listings in print materials, and they have all kinds of different materials. They have materials for listing presentations to show them an example of what the system does. But I like these lead generation flyers. So let's say you just created this for your listing and you're getting ready to go to your open house. You pick any of these flyers, you open them, it automatically pulls the pictures and all the information into the flyer. A lot nicer than MLS listings. And the other nice thing about it is they come with the lead capture generation on them. So they'll have a text code on them that if they text that information on that listing, you're going to get a cell phone, text on your cell phone with their phone number, but they're also going to get the virtual tour downloaded right to their smartphone. So it's great to have an open house or out at a listing. You just put them on the counter, or you give it to them when they come in the open house. If they take it home and like, oh, what did that living room look like, and they text that number, you're going to get their cell phone number right away, and good to go. So these flyers, very nice looking flyers. They're automatically generated. They got your picture and your information on them. They got the text codes. They got your cell phone number. Really nice one-page flyer. They also have multi-page flyers. They'll have these are good for an open house too. Take a few more seconds because they're 2 pages and they've got multiple pictures that fall into them, so it takes a full second for this one to pop up. Right. Oh, there it goes. All right, so this is another version. For current pricing, they can text that number. It's got more pictures, and it's got a page 2 photo gallery of the home. So that stuff's, once you save your tour, that stuff's ready to go. You just open it up, it's ready to fly, print, go. So really nice stuff.
And with the printer we have, come out really nice.
Oh yeah, yep. So that's some of the things you can do. You can also, I did copy and paste this website, so I'll show you what one of the websites looks like.
Now, should we set up a YouTube, like our own
I would.
YouTube channel?
Yeah, because then, and if you put that account information into e-listings, every e-listing tour you websites look like. Nice thing to do is you here up here if you are this. I would go to your toolbar and save it as a favorite property. You can just say, oh, what's your cell phone number? I can send you a copy of the virtual tour. And just open that share button up and put their cell phone number, and you'll send them their text.
Where was that? I missed that.
Website that's created for that property. You hit the share button. They said, no, just send it my email. Launch. We can go to the narrated tour right from here. And these are the narrated tours that will, unbranded versions, will copy right to MLS. That one's recorded. It doesn't sound much different. that. But you can tell sometimes, you know,
When they read the numbers,
there's no
sometimes
slowing
it's
down at the end of the sentence. I find that listings under 300 or 400,000 don't even have virtual tours or websites. You're going to be offering a higher level of service in and of itself, for especially you get into like the 150, 200, 250,000 properties. You rarely ever do this kind of product with that. So if the product in and of itself will get you more listings if you're selling this product, which is an exit built program. So it's a program built just for exit, branded to exit. So this is great stuff. If you use it, you'll get more listings. And it's our listing presentation references all this stuff as well. So it's kind of all ties in if you use it. There's a lot involved in this. Go back to when you first log in and create your account, they have a webinar every Friday for you. You just register right here. So if you really want to use it, it's like an hour and a half webinar. This is what you go to. The first time you get in here, you go into this and watch and just record. Watch the next upcoming webinar. There's a lot of different things you can do with it. One of the other things is listing reports. So if you go to your listing reports, it's a report you can share with your seller on, I think mine have all sold, but let me look at this one. You can open up the report and you can actually send it to your seller and to your store and or yourself on a bi-weekly or monthly basis. And it'll show you what your tour views are, how many tour views you've had, where they're coming from. So it's, when you're dealing with sellers, the more data you can provide them with, the better, to help them realize that you are marketing their home and it's the price, not you, that's the reason their house isn't selling.
How come you haven't sold that home?
Right.
I had 15,000 people look at it. Nobody's commenting inside.
Right. Let me just show you what one looks like, although it's probably a lot of data because this one's sold. But you just click on the report, or you can set it up to automatically go to your seller and it'll go to your seller. The other things that are in here is, so like your text codes, you have assigned text codes to you. Basically, you get 10 for free. And if you don't have riders or don't put the text code on your sign, you can continue to the sign orders right here, and you can order right through here for $7 a piece. You can get these riders. So it just depends on what you want to do. Now, I do have to disclose that Exit Realty is just, I don't know, did you guys see an announcement yet? Did the agents get it yet?
Yeah, I think everyone's got the announcement that it's going to be
So,
coming out this week.
so this week, Exit Corporate has come out with a new lead generation plan that basically, if you have the designated number, text exit to this number, as long as you have that on your property sign or on a rider or a bandit sign or something at your property, that will be the same text code for everybody across the U.S. and Canada, because it's going to pick up the fact that they're in front of the house via geo-tracking. So if they're in front of the house and they look at it and they text that number, it's going to send them the appropriate listing to their cell phone. So personally, I think that doesn't replace this program because that's going to get you a lead, but it's not going to have the level of website and the virtual tours and everything else. So at a minimum, if you decided you didn't want to spend the $15.95 a month to have this program and have the full features, you will have the ability at Exit Realty to have lead capture on every one of your listings for free. I think what we're going to do as an office, I'm going to order a bunch of riders and maybe bandit signs also that will stick next to or on the sign that have this text code, so that at least every one of our listings has lead generation that will drive back to that real estate agent if they decide that they don't want to go with this program. But personally, I still feel this offers a lot more value.
For $150 a year, I mean,
it's going to get you more listings. If you're going after listings and not just taking listings,
so impressive when you show it.
It's a good product.
Hey, Tracy. Signs. But will you have anybody that puts up signs for us?
Now, I actually look into somebody that we'll do it for you if you want to pay them.
Yeah, I know, yeah, I understand that. I don't know if you'd set something up, maybe.
We're working on setting stuff up if you want. I think they do it for somewhere around $50.
Yeah.
Pick up and pick down, yeah, and occasional check. Yeah, so if that's something you don't want to do, so that there will be that ability. So anybody have any questions on what that product does and how to get going into it? When you want to use it, you log in, you take the webinar on Friday, and that's going to really help you really master the program. But at least now you know what it is, and you know that you can use exitsalesfaster.com in your presentations, in your emails to sellers, on Facebook, anywhere you can use exitsalesfaster.com to help you get more opportunities to walk into a listing presentation. Use to your advantage, definitely. All right, so back on Exit Tools, Till Tools, and Exit Resource Center. The other one we'll take a look at is My Promo Shop. My Promo Shop is, in a nutshell, it's your data. If you want to use it for this, I would highly recommend you use it for it. It's a place to organize your database and set it up for campaigning and both email and mail, depending on how you wanted to set up your touches. It's a way to organize the people that are in and around you, that are in your sphere, that know of you, that you want to know that you're in real estate, that you can keep in touch with them on a consistent basis in case they don't see your Facebook posts, in case you don't run into them, in case you don't call them. It's that place to hopefully capture the business that, like Brian Carpenter said, I missed because he forgot that I was a real estate agent. Nobody wants to get that call like, oh yeah, I forgot you were in real estate. So it's probably the area that most agents do the least, but it can have the biggest payoff in the long term. The bigger your database and the more organized it is, the better off your business will be in the long run. So take the time, add people to it on a consistent basis. Anybody use LinkedIn? You guys use LinkedIn? Okay. I'll put a little video tutorial on the Office YouTube account on how you can go in there and go to your connections and actually export all your connections into an email Excel sheet and then upload it into here.
Is that kind of instead of market leader? Was that when we had market leader? Is that kind of the same thing as market?
When we had the Market Leader website, this program was also integral to it, and therefore free. The problem with Market Leader, as we all know, we moved off of Market Leader because they completely stopped innovating it in the last few years, and it fell so far behind all the other available websites out there that it was just a better decision for us to move off of Market Leader. So you do have to pay for this program if you want. It's $149 for the year. You get a 30-day free trial if you want to try it. And they do also have training on here as well. They have videos throughout the website, kind of in different areas, how to upload your contacts, how to use contacts, but it all starts with contacts. If you don't have any contacts in here, it's not going to do you good. So you can do different things. You can import contacts if you have an Excel sheet from Outlook. There's different ways of importing contacts, and if you ever have a hard time with it, they are available to help you import your contacts, especially if you have like a big spreadsheet that you want to get in there. You can get them in there. You can also export if you ever decide, I'm done with this program or for whatever reason, you can always export to. So it's a good place to kind of build and organize your database. The thing with this version of it versus the version that was in our last website, Tony, is there's a lot more abilities in here than the Market Leader version had. It's a lot more user-friendly too, I think. So it starts with, let's say you're going to add even just one contact. Obviously, you want to accumulate everything you know about these people, where they work, what their email is, if they have what their home address is. You can put in here their interests, if they're interested in certain things. You would definitely want to put in their purchase date. So if you have clients that you have sold with, you want to put them in here. You want to put in your purchase date because if you can set up a campaign so that every year on their birthday they get an anniversary card. Happy anniversary on the purchase of your home. Things like that are the small things that go a long way to making sure they call you back if you 5 years you're ready to sell. So there's a lot of different boxes that you can add a lot of information about every one of your contacts, and take the time to put as much in there as you know about these people, because it can help you in the future as well. Groups and interests, you define these groups, so you can either go up here and manage groups and set up your groups, or if you just added a contact and the kind of groups that you want them in is not there, you can create a new group. But just to give you some ideas, I have affiliates, so like if I'm connected to a lot of lenders, attorneys, and stuff like that, occasionally I want to remind them, hey, I'm in the business and I'm looking for referrals. That might be who your affiliate group is. So you probably want to have different groups, because at different times you're going to want to reach out to them in different ways. For instance, you're not going to send all your affiliates first-time home buying postcards, or this is, a reminder, this is a great time to sell cards. It's just, you're going to want to group them in different ways. I have one for buyers. I have one for agents, because I do a lot of recruiting, obviously. But for you, it could be buyers, it could be sellers, it could be friends, family, first-time home buyers. And you can always move them in different groups after they, let's say they're in the first-time home buyer group and now you just close on, you want to go back in here and move them into the past clients or some kind of longer-term follow-up. So once you have your contacts and you're building your contacts and you're managing your groups, from that point you have to decide, what do you want to send them? You want to send them one piece, pick a piece every month and just send them one at a time, or do you want to do campaigning? So you can set up full campaigns in here. Let's just look at the marketing materials first. So if you wanted to do a postcard and you just wanted to send them some kind of farming postcard, like a market analysis, you would just go in here. There's over 2,000 pieces in here that are all going to be pre-branded to you once you add your picture and your information. So make sure when you first sign up onto this, you put in your profile information, your picture and everything. Save it so that every time you open one of these cards, and they'll be automatically branded to you. You'll notice also on each card, every time you click on the card, there's different options. There's just preview and email. You can send it as it is, or you can click on the edit button. A lot of them have anywhere from little modification possibilities to you can change the whole thing up. The property flyers, the property postcards, stuff like that, you can pretty much tear them apart every way to Sunday and create your own unique postcards. Ones that are more designed, like this one, have less areas you can mess with. They don't want you to mess with the graphics. So you just kind of got to get used to the program, kind of look at each one and see. This will actually print them out so that they're ready to cut. So this is a little different than if you were going to email this card out. This is more of a print-based version. But you'll see on here there's not an option for email. So that means that's not a card that's set up for e-content, a card that's set up for print. So there's different things you can do. You can do a desktop print if you wanted to. You can order printing right through here. So we have Exit has basically a relationship with Shutterfly, so you can do 100 of them for. This includes postage, 63 cents for first class. If you want to mail it to you, the 20 cents a piece for 100 to 499. So for 63 cents a piece, if you ordered this card and had it sent out to the 100 people in the database that you have addresses for, it would cost you $69 to get them to their house. You never touch them, which to me is not a bad deal. Our time is best spent out showing and selling houses, but you still have to do this kind of stuff. Unless you hire someone to do it, you either got to do it yourself or use a service like this. I think it's money well spent, but that's my opinion. So one of the things you can do, we're just looking at kind of examples of kind of one-offs. You pick a piece, like a first-time home buyer piece, and you just decide, I'm going to send it out or print it out. This is just one-offs. Like you go in there and decide on one piece, email it, mail it, print it, whatever you decide. That's going to be one-offs. Next, I kind of want to just do a brief overview of campaigning.
anyone has tried it, but I love it because I can actually buy daily this. Instead of having to import it, or find it, or go to a public record, transfer it over, make sure it's perfect, it's a penny. So I'll take a list and I'll say, I want a 5 mile radius around here, I only want single family homes, people with, I think $50,000 over, it'll pull that data and say, just download it and import it. But for any address, it's awesome. Oh, yeah, it is awesome. That's great.
And my seller's just listed, right?
Yeah, you buy it right where
Yeah.
it was, so when
So-
you print it, it'll say, well, if you want to buy an address list, then you put in, say, yes, and put in the criteria. And it'll tell you 400 people, 300 people, 100, depending on how many postcards you want to make. So let's say you just want to be available with 50 cards, it'll pull 50 addresses with the criteria that you're looking for. And I did that for St. Nicholas, and my sellers called me. They're like, hey, we got the postcard. They don't get it, but their neighbors got it. So they called me because the neighbors like, hey, we just saw the postcard. And it's awesome. Great.
So when you click on like a just listed postcard, I haven't fooled around with my account too much. But if you do a create edit, you can actually import your MLS. It'll actually pull in your MLS photos and information, so you don't have to add those photos for your MLS listing. It'll pull the pictures and you just check it over and make sure everything looks good. Then you hit order. We're going into the edit screen. But once you go to the order edit screen, after you make sure everything looks good, and you can change anything you want. If you wanted to change the photos around or add a different photo, you could. Once you're done, you hit save. Then you go to order. You go through that process. It's pretty easy process. Right?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so simple. And it takes about 7 to 10 days for delivery. So once it's approved, which usually the browser, 7 to 10 days. And that's what I do. Is I have something in production right now. It should hit your neighborhood in 10 days.
And send you a copy too, right?
I get a copy, so I make sure so I know, because I'll get it in my mailbox, I'll check. I want to see what it's like to make sure that I've never been disappointed. All my mailers do.
I mean, just listed postcards. There's 603 different kinds. You can't find something you like in 600. So I think that's really awesome. Yeah. Just sold. You can do open houses too if you plan far enough in advance. But again, there's 586 just sold. So there's tons of examples in here. The newsletters. These are kind of nice. It's a pre-built newsletter ready to go. So if you, at worst case, there's nothing else besides the newsletter. It's your entire database. I just set up a test up one, but every month you can fill in the top section to be something about the local market, or hey, the market's going crazy. Call me if you need something, or hey, check out exitsellsfaster.com if you're looking to sell. You had something in the top of the section, you put a label. So I put a label on it, state of the market, and then the other parts of it automatically come in, automatically from different news channels. So you can also add on the right side, you can add your listings. It's got a mortgage calculator. You can add web links in there. It's a nice looking branded newsletter that really probably takes you maybe 5 minutes each month to finish out the newsletter. That's a nice quick way to.
And that's an electronic thing, so that doesn't cost you anything. Right? It's
That
just
doesn't cost you.
email.
Nothing's going to cost you unless you decide to buy something. If you're really running your campaigns right, and campaigns are a series of events that go on for a period of time that you pick. So there's a ton of, let's say, if you go into campaigns and go into basic campaigns, for instance. One of the ones you can do is if you have a category for first-time home buyers, you can do prospective homeowners newsletters. Let's go to prospecting. So you're prospecting first-time homebuyer series. There's 2 different series in here. In this section, there are 14 pieces. If you don't like any of them, you can delete them. You also have different plans, so you could just do just direct mail. You could do multi-channel, which would be 6 emails, 6 mail, and they're going to cost you between $4.50 and $5.22 per contact. That covers all 6, actually all 6 direct mail pieces. So it's a little less than $1 a piece if you want that to happen. And then, or you can do just email. So let's say you got emails for a bunch of buyers, but you don't have access to them. That's typically what you get until they're ready to write offers and give us the check or something. We typically don't have a lot of addresses for our buyers unless you're able to get that information from them. But so let's say you just wanted to do emails, you just pick the email channel, click on next step, and it's going to ask you, who do you want in that group. So then you just go to your groups, pick your buyers, go. Your buyers. Buyers is what I got. Checked. It's going to add whoever I have in that group over to the right side, and then you just hit confirm, and that campaign is going to start. So that's all you have to do, basically select who you want in that campaign. Those are the very basic ones that are ready to go. It doesn't take too much time. And actually, one of the nice things it does is if you've already started this campaign and you're not sure if everybody's in the campaign, you can just go into your campaign and just add all, and it's going to tell you right here, it's going to pop up a note. It's going to say, this one says 2,800 of the 2,888 contacts you selected have all required information. So it's also going to tell you if you have any overlaps. So if you create a campaign for first-time home buyers and then you're like, I think I added more people into my contact database, but I don't know, you can just go in and add all again. It'll say you already have 200 of the 250 people in that campaign. We're going to add the 50 that are not in that. The reason they do that is the system doesn't want to guess what you want someone to be part of. They want you to decide what you want those people to be part of. So you basically, any campaign you have running for a long period of time, I just suggest you go in every month and click on the edit campaign button and then add the contacts in, and then it'll just bring up the ones that aren't in that campaign yet and say, yes, do you want to add these people? So if I wanted to add them to the campaign, hit add, and then it's basically you save campaign and you're done. Once you do that, you're going to see a list of all your campaigns. If there's activities going on, what emails are going on, if it's finished, how many contacts are in the campaign, and what you have going on. So that might be just one campaign you do for first-time home buyers. Another one you might do is what I would recommend every agent have is a year-long campaign to everybody in the database. So you've got sub-campaigns of buyers, sellers, maybe affiliates, but then you have a campaign that covers the base of everybody. And I would probably say once a month you want everybody in your database to get something. So what I would recommend you do is get used to what is available in the marketing materials, maybe make some notes, go through all these sections, from flyers, postcards, guides, and anything you like that fits your personality, or fits the personality of the people you hang out with, write them down, jot them down, and kind of build in your mind what you want those people to get throughout the year. So maybe it's a 4th of July card. Maybe this time of year it's a, hey, don't forget, I love referrals. If you know anybody who can buy or sell, keep in mind. Maybe you do that now, and you do that August when people are thinking about the fall. So you pick, let's say, 12 or 15 pieces, whatever you decide, and now you want to go into your campaign button. And you're going to go to advanced, and you're going to build your own campaign. So build your own campaign, basically start from scratch. You're going to pick your pieces. You're going to pick your dates. You're going to pick everything that goes along with it. So right now there's no pieces in it. And let's say I want to do postcards, farming. I'm just going to pick a couple randomly. So you pick a couple that you want, and you click Add to Campaign. And you can preview them, see what they look like again, but you should have an idea what you kind of want to put in there already. Pick another piece. Let's add those 2 pieces. Once you have all the pieces you want, hit next step. and now you decide where I want this to be. Make sure if you're just going to do email, that the pieces you pick are email based. So I didn't take that step, but just write down the ones that are email based before you add them. These are direct mail pieces. I'm not going to change that now. But you notice here you can do interval campaigns or you can do date campaigns. If you're doing a year-long campaign, I'd probably do dates. That way you can set it up for like the first of every month, or a weekend day, a Sunday, a day when people are typically smaller, and then you just pick the dates, all those pieces that you want to go out. If you felt like you needed to add a piece again, you can add another piece here. But once you think you're done, save that. If there's any issues, it'll tell you, you can't send something out 7 days from now if you haven't ordered it yet. But once you kind of clear all those conditions and kind of errors that you created, you hit next step, and then it asks you who's going to be in your campaign. And if that's your campaign to everybody, then you would pick everybody in the entire database, add them into the campaign, hit save. Then throughout the year, those people are going to get that piece every month, whatever you decided to give them in the 15.
You had somebody mid-year that's just pick up.
No, what you have to do is you have to go back to your campaign, and so every month I would say pick a day, beginning of the month. You go into your campaigns, click on it.
So when you add them, though, does it start from day one, or does it start from where you are?
It starts from where? Well, it depends. If you put 1/1/2000, you're picking dates, or you're picking an interval. So you could do every 30 days from when you started, or you could pick dates. If you pick a past date, it's not going to.
No, what I'm saying is when you add somebody, when you're saying you add somebody new, like somebody comes on 6 months and you started a 12-month campaign, on 6 months you add a new person. Do they start?
They start from there.
That's what I'm asking.
Right. So they're not,
That's what
so if you set up a 4th of July card to go out on the 2nd of July, they're going to get that one still on July 1st. They're not going to get it.
Yeah. In January.
Right. Two cases, but under add contact,
Mhm.
it gives an option of adding it to the. It's a good campaign to add it.
Oh, right.
So
So if you go to contact, right?
yeah, I didn't create a whole, say, a new one. Once you fill out and save it, it'll give another set of criteria. So if you want to add to a campaign, then you can pick the
Right. Good point. So when you add it, like if you had a new buyer you just signed with, and you want to put them in the 14-day buyer campaign, you add them in here as a contact and hit save, and then it gives you an option to add them to the campaign. If you forget or you're not sure, the best way to do it is just go to your campaigns once in a while and do add remove contacts. And then let's say you're going to pick, you're going to add everybody in there. It's going to work itself through, and it's going to say you have this many contacts that are already in there, this many aren't. Do you want to add them? Yes, I want to add them. And then, oh, I didn't. That's all.
Also, if they want to unsubscribe.
Yes. Yeah.
Or whatever.
It'll tell you that person wins. I mean, while it sounds a little bit confusing, this is probably one of the most easy, just play around with it programs you have.
The thing that's most time consuming is putting in your actual contacts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they update it pretty regularly.
Yeah, they're always adding new materials. There's actually even a section usually here I see under each that's new materials. There's a lot of great stuff in here. This takes time to go through and look at it all, really. I mean, you just have to spend a couple hours looking at it, just saying, okay, I like this stuff, I like this stuff, and just kind of getting to know it quite a bit. There is a help center also with videos and tutorials on how to use it, and we can certainly help you with using it if you want also. This is the kind of stuff that if you like it and you sign up for it and come into a workshop on a Saturday, you can just literally start adding contacts if you have questions. Any questions on that? All right, let's move to our new website. Takes a little bit of time, and we have a full recording of of how to really use the website. It's an hour recording on the basics that's already in our YouTube channel. We're going to do an advanced with the website provider this coming week. We'll record that, put that up on the YouTube channel also. So your website, when you initially get it, is going to look like this. Your picture at the bottom, if we had a picture for you, otherwise it's going to be blank until you add your picture. So I'm going to show you how to change all that. I'm also going to show you a few simple things, like how you can change the background image of the website. And I may even have time to show you how you can change the featured listings and the featured neighborhoods. So the one nice thing about this website compared to the Market Leader website we had is it's completely customizable however you want. If you really want to get tech with it, you can change everything about the website. You can do blogging on there. You can add testimonials on there. Links back to Zillow or Trulia, wherever you keep other testimonials. You can add pages, you can add community pages. You can go crazy with this thing if you really have the time and wanted to. But worst case scenario, if you don't do anything other than upload your image, and even if you don't upload your image, when you get the login for it, it's going to work. Meaning if someone lands on it, on your domain, whether you're sharing it on Facebook or putting it on a flyer or running Facebook ads for it, if somebody ends up there, they're going to register. They're going to have to register and use the website. So I haven't signed in yet, so it should capture. So if I was looking for homes in Auburn, I was the buyer, I could just come in here and start fooling around. I personally kind of like the layout. It's blocked out very nicely for a buyer from a buyer's perspective. They can see the search results, and then they click on a listing, and typically immediately it's going to pop up the box, ask them for their name, their email address, and they ask them to use their phone number as a password. We're capturing at least double the amount of phone numbers that we used to in marketing just because we're asking for them. So it's pretty clever, but it works. If you're fooling around on your own website and you're kind of trying to see how it all works and you keep getting this pop-up come up, put your own information there and register as a lead of yourself. The reason we do that is it's going to help you see what a buyer sees and what an agent sees. So fool around with it just like you're a buyer, capture yourself and your email address as a lead of yourself, and then you'll get to see both sides, what a buyer sees and what you see as a real estate agent when you log in back to the website. But if you're ever, after you do that, if you're ever on the website and you just don't want to see that pop up, if you log in the back end of your website, that goes away. It basically, at that point, you're logged in. Your login for the back end of the website is always going to be your domain / admin. That's going to get you to your login page. It's going to look like that. Typically, until you change it, your username is your first and last name, and then the password is your first and last name. First and last name, 123 exclamation point. You'll get that in the welcome email. Comment if you have any trouble logging in again. Ask our admins to help you out with that. Everybody gets their own unique domain. It's going to be a .exithomesview.com domain. So if you want to use that on your business cards, flyers, etc., you can, or you can go on GoDaddy and buy a snazzy domain. Just forward it. Like Brian sells homes. What's OneWhisterHomes.com? He's got that permanently forwarded to his egg.
He used to.
So once you log in, it's going to look like this. Obviously, if you don't have any leads, it's not going to show anything in this section. But once you start getting leads that register, when a lead registers, you're going to get a text, an email about that new lead registering, or it's going to show up in the back end of your website. So you can see if they looked at some homes, what the source is. Referral is typically, if you scroll over, you can see where it came from. This is a Facebook ad we ran. This person's done 9 searches. They visited 8 listings. They registered on 215. So that's a new lead. It might have been an ad that Lisa ran, or it could be an ad that we ran at the office occasionally. We're starting to ramp up our office lead generation also because we're kind of looking to drive some leads to you guys. So occasionally you'll see that. I wouldn't say it's going to be every day or it's all random. Depends on how our Facebook ads are going and what we're spending on a month-to-month basis. But you can see if they've got a phone number. If you click on them, you can see more detail. If you click on this lead, we can see there's no search alert set up for them right now, which means they didn't set themselves up for a search alert. So if you're working a buyer, you probably want to come in here and add a search alert for them. This website updates hourly with MLS, which is different than a lot of other sites. So if you pick immediately, that's a good search update for a buyer that's hot to trot. You know, they can't find the perfect house. When the perfect house comes on the market, they're ready to jump into their car within an hour and goes to the house. You probably want to set them up for immediately. If they're a little longer term, not as hot, maybe you set them up every day. Just depends on what their kind of need is, what they're looking for, or how hard it is to find what they're looking for. So then you can add in the minimum, maximum for the beds, baths, lawn. It's not really.
So if you see a lead that has been there and you kind of look at what they've looked at, you can set them up without even them doing it. So
if they don't like it, they can unsubscribe.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So this person's also, because they registered themselves, they're in the New Lead Engage program, which is a series of basically 8 emails that go out automatically over the first 8 days, 10 days they're in the system. If you have a friend that you know of that came on the website and you know they're going to work with you, you might just trash that, or you might let it run. It's got different things like, did you notice?
If you scroll down, it shows them.
Yeah, it's like some of the ones that are in, it's automatically sends them a welcome email. It sends them an email saying, hey, if you have any questions on your search result, what you're looking for, you want to set up search results, let me know for this words. It's got an email that says, have you heard that there's, I'm not sure if you've heard that there's some zero down payment programs in our area. If you have any questions on that, I'm here to help. That's gotten some responses just because people want to know how you do take zero down. So they're kind of built and meant to try to get them to respond to you, even if you don't pick up the phone and try to call them. Obviously, to work leads the best way you can, you should be picking up the phone and trying to have a conversation with them. But if you're busy and you're out there running around, the system is at least sending them stuff to try to get them to convert with you. So you can see what this person's looked at. You can see every, so this one, they registered 24 minutes ago. Signed to Lisa. It sent them a welcome email, and that's it so far. But that'll track anything you do. So if you, for instance, if you email them right now, it'll track it down here. If you text them, it actually text them on this number they provided right through the system. So you don't have to go to your phone to text them. It'll text you there. If they text you back, it'll record it here. So it's like a whole chronological history of any contact attempts you've had or any emails coming back, any texts coming back. It's a good way to go back in the lead and see what was the last thing that happened. The other thing is if you click on call, it'll call them and it'll call you, and technically you should say, oh, I'm on the road, if you don't mind, I wanted to ask you some questions about what you're looking for. Do you mind if I record the call, just so I can go back and listen later. But it will record the call and put a little play button right in the chronological history that you just recorded a call regarding that buyer. Maybe you've got a hot legal issue and you want to record it. That's another use of it. But it will, if you hit call, it will call you in their phone and it will record that conversation. Kind of a neat little feature. So that's the basics of working with a lead. The other nice part about this is different than Market Leader is right here you can decide, I got a hot new listing and all 1,200 people that are in my website, I want to send them a quick email about it. Could email all those leads right away. It wasn't as easy in Market Leader, but now it's a one-click. You can either pick a template, so there's a bunch of templates that are already set up, a ton of them, with different things you can send people. Or you can create your own templates, so you could have a personalized message you want to send out to everybody, like, hey, I've got a listing. You can actually include the MLS listing templates. So if you have a hot new listing you want to send it out to all your people, it's an easy way to just send it out to everybody that's in your system here. And also on occasion, you can also go in here and export your contacts and put them into the promo shop system also, which is another way to continue to follow up in different ways with people.
So you can take your leads from there and send them to promo, and there's no problem. I'd like to take two.
Just have to make sure it's formatted right. If it's not, if it has an issue, you can get Promo Shop to help you with that. So, I wouldn't do it every day, but every once in a while it's a good idea.
No, just I have everybody there. So if I want something.
So, so that's your lead screen. Your second screen here is your teams and actions. Typically, your team is going to consist of yourself. But I can see all the agents in here, so if you ever needed help with uploading a picture or changing something, we can help you with that. But the first thing you want to do when you come into the website is make sure you personalize it to yourself. And once the agents pop up here, we'll click on one. So let's say you just signed on the first time and all you see is the exit logo. Then you want to go in here and click on your own name. And you want to click on the edit button. And you go through here, you change the picture to your own picture. Scroll down, you put your MLS ID number so that it populates your listings correctly. About me section, you definitely want to have something in there. That'll show up on the main page of the website, a little information about yourself. It could be the same thing that you use for your exit file. And then your signature. That will be your signature line, your Facebook connections. If you've got another phone number you want to use, hit save changes, and then your website will be at least minimally branded to you. Meaning it'll be your picture, your information. And it'll just look like everybody's other site until you do a few other things to modify it. I don't want to get too deep into this. I'll let you guys watch the webinar on how to do this, but one of the easiest things to do is to change that back-end image on the website. So if I go back, so this image back here, you can change that. And very simply, go to your website. Let's go over here on the left side. You're going to have all these different things. There's a lot of different things you can do with it, like pages. You can modify pages, add pages, add guides. But the one that we want to do to change the backend image is go to Images and Galleries, and the Galleries and Sliders. And one of the nice things about it, and you're going to go to your home page. That's the one you're going to want to edit. Is if you have like featured listings, you could do a featured listing. So you could add multiple images in here. You could have 4 or 5, and if somebody sits on the home page, that picture will scroll from one page to another. So it could be pictures of you with a client at the closing table. It could be you partying at a room, I don't know, whatever you want. It could be the town that you like to work in. So if you are really trying to specialize in an area, or if you're trying to specialize in construction or whatever, it could be a group of scrolling photos that tell a story of what you want to do. I've seen one agent actually have a photographer stitch their picture in with like on the left side, because if you see this one will have it. If I go to my own personal website, your picture is always going to be in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. If they scroll down, they can see you, but what some agents are doing is stitching together like a profile shot of themselves and then a home that they've sold on the right-hand side. So you could have kind of your image in the background, shows you off a little bit more. So it just depends on how deep you want to go with that. But you can change all those just by going to that images and galleries, and then the galleries and sliders. So you could add 3 or 4 images in there, reorder, whatever you want. That's one thing you can do. Other things you can do your blog right through here, you can do blog posts, search filters. Search filters would be how you change your featured listings. So you would just come into your, again, go to this search filters, pick on your featured listings, click edit. So depending on what you want to do for your business, you can make the featured listings all the office listings, or you can make it all the listings in the town you work in, or a price category, whatever you want. You just basically scroll down, pick a city, pick a minimum maximum price. Right here, I've got it set up automatically for our MLS ID numbers for our offices. So if you have a question on what that office IDs are, let me know. But you could do just your listings. If you have a lot of listings, you can do just your listings. So you can really hone in what you want your featured listings to be and make it kind of your own website. So I don't want to go crazy with this because I'm throwing a lot at you guys tonight, but in addition to just setting it up, there's a lot of customization. There's also which I'll post again on the private Facebook group, there's a website with a ton of tutorial videos on how to do some of this more advanced stuff. But you don't have to worry about all that stuff. Just change a few of the images and make it your own, and it'll still work very well. The other thing I want to show you guys while you're on here, great activity to do as a new agent. And I don't know anybody in the office that will tell you no as far as sharing listings. Unless somebody told you no after you posted it, just feel free to share any of our office listings anytime you want on your Facebook page, because we all feel that the more we share our sellers' listings, the better chance we have of selling. Our job is to sell our sellers' listings. Double ending is nice when it happens, but none of us should take an attitude of, well, you can't share my listing because I'm trying to double end. It doesn't make any sense. We all have different circles we run in, so what I want to show you is how to right away, even if you don't have any listings, come in here and share them on Facebook. So, I changed the feature listing. Let me, it's not good to share, but I don't have full price stuff. William Street. Yeah. Where's that Ario?
I have a house. I don't need to. It would be actually. Maybe I should.
All right, where's my list? Here it is, right here. 9 Williams. So if I wanted to share this one, I'd click on it. And you'll notice there's a link up here. If you click on the share button first, it changes the URL up here to a better link. So just now it'll say click here to share. This button last time I checked wasn't working properly. Let's just see if it does. I don't like doing it this way anyways because what I want to do is I want to do it through ads. I'll show you why to do it. Why I do it through ads. So I would, unless you're just going to quickly post on Facebook, I would do it through here. But I usually just copy this URL right out of here, out of the top, once you click on the share button. And then if you go over to your Facebook page, now it's up to you whether you post it on your business page and then share it on your personal page or how you do it. Depends on if you're going to spend some money on advertising. If you've got your own listing and you're promoting an open house, I would recommend you go in there and put it on your business page and run an ad. But if you're just kind of looking to share things initially to show like hey, I'm getting busy. A lot of people will perceive you as getting busy and being busy even if you're sharing just office listings. They don't necessarily know, and you're not saying, hey, this is someone else's listing office. You're just sharing listings. And they think, oh wow, you're getting busy, which perception is sometimes reality. And it's a good thing.
And if they click on it, it'll bring you to your website.
So if you took that URL and you copied and pasted it, it's going to pull in the pictures. It's going to pull in the link. Once you copy and paste, you can erase that and say, check out this great flip property. If it was an open house, you could say open house coming this weekend, whatever you want to do. Once you hit post, because you went on your own website and pulled that listing up and shared it, if anybody registers through that link, so if I go back and now if I click on that, taking back over to the website on that listing, and then they can look at that, and it's going to pop up a box and ask them to register. So basically, it's a way for you to capture leads. If someone is interested in that property, and you don't have a listing, but
Sure, that's what I was asking, even though you're not stealing, borrowing someone else's listing, it's gonna drive them back to your website. Yeah, share.
we're sharing. We're trying to sell listings.
Yeah. But
That's
it brings
the
them
job.
back to your website.
Exactly.
So that's good.
Yeah, so it's helping you grow your business and your image, and your image, which is everything. So pick out some listings every week to share on your Facebook page, right? We did a power hour last week on how to run ads.
Right.
So do it through your business page, and that's recorded. So if you want to watch that, you can. It goes more into depth into the advertising of listings. But Facebook has gotten pretty in depth with what you can do now. I'm actually going to ask Chris to do a class too coming up on Chris Winskin. One of our agents, but he's crazy smart when it comes to Facebook and everything. Like you can now run ads in Facebook, and let's say you want to pick a $20 budget, you can have that show up in people who are first-time home buyers, or like a zero-down loan ad. You can have it show up to just people that have never owned a home that make a certain amount of money. I asked them, how does Facebook know what I make for money? And they said they went big data too. They bought data from other companies and imported it into their servers, so that even though I haven't said on Facebook what I do for a living or how much I make, they know.
I think it's wild when you put a picture up and it sets the tags for you. It's like, yeah, it's facial recognition.
Yeah.
Just when you put up the light
Oh, yeah.
on the, so you and actually I read the thing, it's true.
I knew it was. I knew that thing was listening.
And then they start
Right.
advertising on stuff that you.
So that's another whole level, but it's an important level because you can really hone in on who you're looking to.
Right.
Have you been doing ads on Facebook? Has it worked pretty well for you?
Yes. I know even for the school, literally in 1 weekend.
Yeah.
I do some boosting with listings. What I like about it is that you can set it.
Right. You can set it when to start and stop,
Yeah, so I'll do
and how much
ads
you
like on
want to
Sundays.
spend per day.
I'll have 5 ads set on a Sunday, and then it will trickle up the week, every other week, whatever I want.
Yeah, boosting open houses is good. When you take a listing, even when you take a listing and Star expects you to advertise, if you can show them that you boosted on Facebook and you got 8,000 views, they don't have to know that you spent $20 on it. So it's a great, to me, it's a great way to, it's far better advertising to spend that $20 on that than to spend $300 to put it in a magazine. That's not going to show up in a store for another 30 days. Really not even serious buyers are looking at those.
Right.
Right, exactly. So any questions on the basics of the website? Okay. Let's move on to Dotloop. As you go, you learn a lot more about Dotloop, but I just want to point out some things. You guys who have used it for a while, you might. Keep me on my website. It's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a. It's also another Al Pacino movie too.
All right. So Dotloop, when you log in, you should see the exit logo. If you came from another company, you may be setting up as default to another profile. If you have more than one profile, it'll be over here on the right, the circle button. You click on it, it'll show you different profiles. So either for some reason 2 years ago you were a client of somebody's, and now you're an agent, You may just not see the exit logo when you log in. Just check over here, make sure you click on your profile. And if you have more than one profile, you can switch back and forth basically, but then you can pick your default while you're in there also. Just so you guys know, if you're ever looking for an answer or you just can't remember how to do something, at the bottom of every page you'll see that Help Center. You should click on that, and there's all kinds of tutorial videos on how to set up loops, how to share documents, how to do things. But basically, we're using .loop for everything transaction coordination, all transaction coordination we do, in addition to offering you guys the ability to print forms whenever you need them, fill out forms, have them e-sign.
Templates.
What's that?
I said under templates is where all that is that you're talking
Yeah.
about, all those forms and everything.
Yeah, if you go to templates, the second tab right over here, you can see everything that we have in here. We've got the buyer and seller form packets all set up. So if you go to documents, we've got the seller form packet. It's got pretty much everything you've ever used with a seller: transaction sheet, invoice, seller's checklist, our form requirements, why we require them, what's required, the mandatory consumer disclosures, the listing agreements, deferral of showing forms if you're doing a delayed MLS, as is addendum, one-time showing fee if you're showing a for sale by owner. There's a lot of stuff in here. Short sale packet.
You don't need every one of these for that by yourself.
Well, no, you don't. But
No, I'm saying somebody's new, they're like, oh my God.
yeah, the best thing to do is check the checklist. It'll show you what we require. Basically, that's where you would check and say, okay, when I get ready to close on the file, this is what I need to make sure I have for my office for audit purposes. And agency disclosure, listing agreement, lead paint, statement of property condition. Some of them are mandatory, some of them say not mandatory. So you just check the checklist, make sure you've got everything. We don't have a form that you have to fill out to take all the information off the documents and put it into a summary sheet. We don't require that, so you basically just sure all your documents are in your file, and then let's pretend I'm getting ready to close on a deal. And this is my loop. So loops, I'm going to take a step back. When you log in as a new agent, you're not going to have any loops. A loop is a folder. It's either a buyer folder, a seller folder, or a rental folder, or a random documents that have no reason for being anywhere. You probably even have a test loop in the first time around with it, because you're not going to break the system. So if you put test buyer and you want to play around with the forms and get used to using the system with your significant other, you can't. You can play around with it. But if you needed to, have a new buyer you're working with, you put their name in there and you create a loop. Those loops are blank until you add forms into it. So if I click on this loop, you'll see there's probably a lot of different forms here. These are all related to this deal, whatever agent was using this loop has. If they felt they had everything to the checklist, all that we require when you're getting ready to close out a deal is you hit the submit for review button. And a little pop-up box comes up and asks what kind of file it is. You say buyer or seller, and you put a note in there, like closing Friday, should have everything except for the HUD, or closing disclosure. You just put a note in there, you hit submit, our admins will get that note, and they'll review your file, your packet, and if it looks good, they'll say, okay, great, when the HUD comes in, upload it, send me another little note that it's closed, and we'll cut your check when it comes. There's no other requirements other than just keeping your documents in here for each of your folders, each of the buyers and sellers. There's two ways to do that. When you create your loop, your whole loop is going to be blank until you add something to it. So if you wanted to add a set to it, you just click on Add a Document and choose the templates. And then you would pick, like, let's say it's a buyer, you pick buyer packet. And you can pick the individual forms, but I usually just select all, because I might use some, I might not use others. Just hit select all and add documents. All those forms to the buyer packet are now going to be in your loop. When they're in a loop, you can modify them. You can put in your address, the name, the phone number, not their phone number, the price, the down payment, deposits, etc. You can modify the forms in a loop. You can't modify the forms up here in templates, because those are like the sets. You can't modify the sets unless you're in a loop. So once you're, let's say you use it and you create an offer on it. Once you've completely created it, you can then hit the share button and share it with the buyer for e-signature. So if you were writing up an offer at 9 o'clock at night and you want to get a signature and you want to get it over to this agent as fast as possible, you could just create that offer in here, hit share, put their email address in, call them a buyer, and then share that form with them. For then you'll get a note when it comes back from e-sign, your document's been signed. Then you can come in here and you can do one of two things. If this one's been signed, you see that one says waiting on others, so they're trying to get it signed right now. But if I hit share, I can then share it with, I'm just going to go to a blank so I don't mess this agent up. I don't know what they're doing, but I mess up. I know I have a test loop in here. Nice part is you can search your loops. So if you have a lot of loops, it's easy to search them. See a lot of agents have test loops. You won't see every agent. I'm the only one that can see all the agents, but that helps for training also. So if you're writing up your first offer, you can say to your mentor or someone you're working closely with or with me, hey, can you check out my first offer? I can log into my phone. This is your offer and make comments and help you guys with it. Just go in here and pretend that I'm playing around with an offer form. So this is this one doesn't have the offer form in it, but let's say this is the offer. It came back, fully signed, and now I want to share it with the listing agent. If the listing agent uses .loop, you want to share it with them through .loop and give them edit and private permission. That allows the listing agent to then assign it to the seller, so the seller can review it, and if they like it, he signs it. It's great if the other side is using it, because when you share it with them with the edit and private permission, and they share it with their seller, if their seller likes it and he signs it, you get an instant notification that you have a fully accepted offer. Instant. If the seller doesn't like the offer, the seller can change the offer amount. It kicks the buyer's signatures off of it, but it comes back with the seller's signature on it.
Oh, so you do want to share it with
Yes. So share it can edit in private permission. It's a great way to not have those deals where, oh, we're verbally accepting, but my seller's probably going to be available tomorrow night to sign it, and you're just crossing the fingers that they don't play shady games on you and get a higher offer and accept that higher offer. So it's if you get the other side to use .loop, it's definitely worth it. If they don't, and this is the offer, one of the things you can just do is you can just click on this little button over here, download it. It'll download a copy of your computer, you save it. If they're really old-fashioned, fax. So the other thing is you occasionally get documents during your deal that you didn't do on here. So maybe you do the offer and it's e-signed, but then the listing agent isn't using .loop, so you download it, you send it to the listing agent, and now they send it back to you in an email, and it's hand-signed by the seller, e-signed by your buyer. You have to get it back in this folder to keep it for the turnover. So you can do that by clicking on Add Document and uploading it from your computer. That's one way. Notice there's an email button here. If you wanted to email that email that has the attachment from your Outlook or whatever you use, Gmail, you can copy this email address and it'll add it directly into this loop without having to clog up your computer with downloading it and then upload it. So you just take that email where you receive that attached file, forward that to this email address, and it'll add it right into that loop. If you don't want to go in here and get, this is specific for this folder, this email address. If you don't want to go in there and have to get that specific email address, everybody gets their own assigned email address on .loop if you click on the template button. This email address right here will be your permanent email address on .loop. So I would save that to your contacts on your computer, on your email server. I call mine Tracy, first name Tracy, last name .loop. So if I ever get an email, like I get emails constantly all day long with attached files that I need to save, I'll just forward all day long. And then those documents end up in your inbox. And then all you have to do is come in here to clean it up and say, okay, this one goes with this listing. You copy it to a loop. You pick the loop, hit copy, and it moves it into that loop. So then you can just clean up your inbox. Nice way to kind of stay on top of all the files you need to, instead of waiting till the last minute and you're getting ready to close the deal and you're like, okay, where'd that PNS go? Let me search my email. And where'd this go? Let me search my computer. Kind of just, you're throwing everything in your inbox and then you're just cleaning up your inbox in Dotloop. Make sense? All right, good. So the other thing you'll find in this template section is we have more than just the buyer and seller form packets. We have rental packets. We have training templates. So we put in here examples of offers, like an example of an FHA offer. So if you're writing up your first offer, it's a great guide for helping you write up that first FHA offer. It's got like basically in parentheses notes, like this is what should go in here. So what you want to do is you want to copy that into, you have to copy it into a loop because you don't change it here. You copy it into your loop, and then you can change it in your loop. So right now I could say, okay, I want to copy this, and then you pick your loop, and you put it, if that's your buyer you're working with, you put a copy of it in there, and then you go over the home screen, go to your loop, and then you can modify that document based on the template that we created. So it's a basically a running example of how to run up. This one is how to run up an FHA offer. You'll see all the parentheses in there, what the language we recommend, and then you can just erase what you need to erase and have your offer ready to go. So it's a good way to, if you haven't written up a bank owned offer before, you haven't written up a 10% down conventional offer or a short sale offer, the examples are right there in that training template section. How to fill out lead paint, also the seller form service.
Custom document like this is that agency relationship form that already have my name and license number in it, so I can just use any of the things for names.
Yeah, I'm trying to get.
What I do is I have two separate, because I'm gonna edit them with the client's name, I have a buyer and a seller loop on my loops. So I always have the buyer loop and the seller loop, and it has the bare minimum things that I'm gonna read for those loops. So I basically modify that, once I modify it, I save it, and then I'll change the name to the client.
The best way to do it, Louis, is like you said, you create a loop, call it buyer example. Call your loop buyer example, and then add the forms you want into it, and then modify them the way you want them. And then all you'd have to do is say, go into that loop again, and click all the ones you want to copy, and copy to. And if whatever your new buyer loop name is, you copy all those blanks. So you copy them all into your. It's gonna send over just a copy so that your buyer example loop is always the.
It's still there.
Do you have access?
Your example loop becomes the template.
Go back and just type in buyer. But what I'm gonna search and save.
You're saving it to a new loop.
You copy it to a new loop before you put it in there and force it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna search, type in buyer, shoot. Report.
A lot of people call them buyers. But you get the point, right, Louis? Sorry. Yeah. Can you see it in here? You're also a buyer. I don't see.
Susan somewhere.
Adios. But yeah, you would just create an example, call it buyer example loop. You add the forms in there, modify them the way you want them to. And then you just check them all off and then copy them into the new buyer.
I got you.
So you're just basically copying everything in that file.
And then they sign the one that I would
Right. I mean, the other thing you'll find that we've done in here is anytime I can find ways to make things easier, we update this. For instance, like in the buyer form packet, see that we have
You can,
like an addendum A, like to go along with the purchase contract of purchase, and it has in it some set languages. So if you're looking for Title V language, closing cost language, appraise at or above language, there's languages already built in there. So if that's in your loop, you just erase what you don't want, leave what you want, and it's kind of ready to go stuff. Even stuff like in the listing form packet, we put in, we typed in 6%, and it's automatically in there. It actually does work. If it's typed in there and you're at a listing presentation and you're ready to sign, and you pull it out and say, okay, this is the period we're going to go to, as you can see, a standard percentage of 6. They're more likely to say okay than if you have your pen saying, okay, our percentage is going to be 6. Before you can put that pen down, they're like, wait a minute, let's reverse for a second. Since you haven't written anything, how about 5? But we're definitely getting more listings at 6 because it's typed in. They think when it's typed, it can't be, people think sometimes it can't be changed, or like this really is a standard and you're asking a lot of them to change it. But even if they do ask you to change it, it's 5.5, or some of the other trainings we'll go into is like that. One of the things